Hi, hello, and welcome to another weekly talk with Hannah. So, let's face it, I have not actually like watched any movies. I feel like I am kind of in like this. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I am. Yeah, I haven't been in the mood, so I feel like I don't really know. I have set like a date on like April. I will try and watch a movie every day. If that is going to work, I don't know, but we will see. So I won't be talking about movies because I haven't watched any movies, but we can talk about TV shows because I have watched a few of those. So the first one, let's just say I finished Unsolved Mysteries. I don't know if I talked about when I finished that actually, but it was fine. I feel like some of them are more my taste than not. Can we just say that? So, yeah, it's good to have it done. I am happy that we're done. Can we just say that I am quite happy for that? So, and then, yeah, I have watched Rescued, set in Norway, different places. So, it's interesting. And then I actually started American Murder, Gabby Petito. So this is a case that is a few years old. I just haven't gotten to it. But it is an interesting case just because there are just things that we will probably never kind of know or understand why, just because, Gabby was murdered and Brian probably killed himself. So it's kind of you won't know just because his suicide note, they say that it doesn't make sense, and that is kind of making it more interesting, like, than why. So yeah, it's 3 episodes. It's quite short, and it's quite interesting, just to see this. And other than that, I actually haven't watched anything more than that. So at least like not like anything that I feel like I watched the same like Homestead Rescue and nothing other. I have started a few new ones, so whenever I finish something, I start something new, and it's been okay so far, but obviously, with this, can we just say that sometimes I kind of don't feel like watching anything, but I am kind of, I don't know. It's just going in the background whenever I read, and yeah, so it's been fine. But other than that, yeah. And then we should talk about whatever I have read and finished. So, I mean, where did we end last? Like the last one, I don't even remember at this point. So the first book I read was The Charm Offensive. So overall, I did like this, but I give it 3 stars just because there was like, I feel like both of these two were a hot mess at times, and yeah, I just feel like the biggest problem when two people in a mess get together is that it usually doesn't get better without, therapy. And yeah, it was just like kind of a lot, and yeah, but overall I feel like this is a kind of important book with things that is, not talked about enough. The next one is The Co-op, and this is a marriage of convenience where two people basically get together to build this house. So it's very cute. I give it 5 stars. I really enjoyed this. I know a lot of people don't, but I just felt like it was cute. It was something that I am definitely, I love Tara DeWitt, and I have like one or two books left that I need to read from this author, but I am like continuously like reading this author because I actually like her work, and yeah, so far it's just been a lot of fun to actually get to this. And yeah, so yeah, it was good, and you can like slowly see that they change their opinion, let's just call it that, of each other, just because they don't think that they, like each other, because they basically hurt each other when they were younger. But then they figure out that they do like each other. So yeah. And then we have The House of My Mother. So this is Shari Frankie's book, where she tells her story about living in the house of Ruby Frankie. And I'm going to say, I talked about like a lot of things kind of in depth last video, and there are a lot of things that you know, but then there are things that you don't know. Can we just say Shari basically had anxiety from 5 years old, and I cannot imagine how horrible that has to be. Like, a 5-year-old should not have anxiety because your mother isn't good to you. I mean, she became a yes girl because of her mother, and because her mother was basically, she punished them whenever they did something wrong. I mean, can you imagine sleeping on a beanbag for 7 months? 7, 8, or was it 9 months? It was quite a long time. It was several months. Just because you do something wrong. It's just horrible to think of, and you can definitely see that. I mean, she calls them Ruby and Kevin, and that says something about the relationship that she has with them. And basically she calls someone else mom and dad. And yeah, definitely being called mom, it doesn't need to be your birth mom. If you don't feel like your birth mom is kind of your mother anymore. So yeah, it's such a horrible, it's a really sad story. Can we just say that? It was heartbreaking, and I am, yeah, I am hoping that they are all healing, and yeah, and just, actually getting better as times go by. So yeah. And then I read Fenrir, which, I don't know, I didn't love it. I gave it 3 stars. It was fine. I feel like I have a lot of like different 3 stars. There can be like a 3-star where I'm just like, I like it, I don't have anything against it, I just don't feel like it's a 4-star. I can have a 3 stars where I'm just like, I don't love all of it, but I do love it enough to, give it 3 stars. But will I continue on with this series? I don't really know, just because I don't feel like I am loving this enough to force myself reading 3 more 500 plus books. It's going to be in the unsure currently, just because I am unsure if I want to continue on with it. I don't feel like I need to stress about it. So yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't love it. I feel like I cannot kind of comprehend everything about this book. Then I read 9 Months Contract, and this one. Now, I do believe that I gave this 3 stars. Just because I didn't feel like I totally loved it, but it was a lot of fun moments. Let's just say that in this one, it's about this guy who wants to have a child, but he don't want a relationship. So he goes to this fertility clinic, and they can't help him just because he's extremely picky. And then basically his niece get involved because she's a noisy 18-year-old and she finds this woman for him. And just because she has some ulterior motives, let's just say that, she basically wants to find him someone that he can spend his time with, spend his life with, and have a child. And so she finds this woman who basically doesn't want kids. But overall, she goes to the fertility clinic and they don't accept her just because she is a little more rounder than they want. And she hasn't had kids before. And it's a lot of fun just because they decide to do, yeah. But the whole thing, there's a breeding kink in here, and no. And then she basically, she tells herself that she's a cow. And the whole getting pregnant way was very weird. I'm so sorry, that was so weird. And yeah, so that whole thing was weird. And yeah. So that is kind of why I gave 3 stars. I really had a fun time with this just because he has 4. I think he has at least 4 brothers, and it was a lot of fun. And we are going to follow a few of the other ones. So that's gonna be interesting to see. And then I read Twisted Perfection and Simple Perfection. So this is a duology where we're following Woods and Della, which you basically meet in the series about Blair and Rush. And basically here you get the backstory. And can we just say, so I gave it 3 stars. I feel like for Simple Perfection, I got very annoyed just because the conflict in here. Let's just say that the misunderstandings, the miscommunication is driving me nuts. So basically, let's talk spoilers because I feel like I always do that in these. Basically, she hears Woods and Jace talking about how he should get rid of someone because she's a nuts. And Della hears this and she thinks they are talking about him. Not him, her. And basically she decides to take off. And yeah, I mean she don't even talks about it, and it just ends up with the miscommunication over there, like her thinking something. They don't talk about it because he don't know that she knows. And it's just annoys me because with one conversation this whole thing wouldn't have happened if she had just, talked about it. So yeah, and then the other thing that annoys me. So basically, in this one, Woods' best friend is Jace. And Jace is together with Bethy. And basically, Jace wanted to get engaged. Like, he wanted to propose to Bethy. And my biggest thought was, just because I know the pairings that you get, and I was just like, I am really wondering how this is going to, go down with this whole thing. Just because, I mean, Jace and Bethy seems very much in love. But in the book that I know will follow, she is basically getting together with a different guy. And I was really wondering, yeah, how that is going to go down. And I got my answer. And the answer made me quite angry, just because Jace drowns. In this book, Jace drowns, so Bethy is alone. And I liked Jace. Can we just say that? I really liked Jace. I felt like Bethy changed to the better with Jace, and I am just like, I'm angry at how this is going to go. I mean, yeah, I'm angry. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I'm just angry at this whole thing. So, yeah. The next book I read was The Wedding Agreement. And for this one, I gave it 4 stars. I overall really like this. And yes, there is like a conflict in there. So basically, it's about these two people. I was confused in the beginning just because he was going to marry someone else, and I was just like, how do we end up with them getting married? Basically, the woman that he's supposed to marry basically wants his money, and basically she cheats on him even before this whole thing is happening. And what happens then is that the reason he wants to get married is because his grandfather has, I think it's Alzheimer's, and basically he wants to marry while his grandfather still can. So this other woman, this other main character, basically says that I do it. They are childhood friends, so they knew each other when they were younger. And yeah, so let's just say there is a conflict in here, but I much rather like this conflict than anything else. So basically, she's a workaholic, and she's afraid that he basically wants to have a more of like a woman who can be there for him. Just because she don't have time to be with him a lot. And basically this childhood friend of his basically gets through her skin and says something, and she mentions it's like she talks to him about it, and basically he messes up with kind of how he says things, and she gets angry. And I get why she gets angry, just because sometimes you definitely have to think before you talk, and he doesn't, so she gets angry. So she decides to basically just leave for her sisters for a little while. And sometimes I have to say, I get it. Sometimes you just need a break. If you fight with someone, you might need a break after that. And overall, it wasn't the worst conflict. I get that. I don't think that this could have been resolved that day, because she was really angry. He knows that he messes up though, and he wants to make it up to her. And yeah, I mean, sometimes you can't fix something in the second that you have said something extremely stupid. Sometimes you need to take a small break. And just because if they would try to fix it right there and then, I don't think they would have, actually fixed it, because they would probably just be arguing with each other. Then I read The Midnight Feast, and I didn't like it. I feel like I'm for like mystery thrillers. I am really difficult to actually get me to like something. So this one, I felt like there were too many characters. I was confused, and yeah, I just didn't really love this. So yeah, I don't feel like I have much to say about this. I was just like lost. Then I read The Comeback, and this is basically about these two people that were engaged like 8 years ago. She leaves because of something, and basically now she's back 8 years later, and he's kind of angry at her. So the reasoning behind her leaving was that he wanted to quit football. And she didn't want him to, so she felt like it was better for her to leave, and hoped that they could get back together later on. That never happened because he didn't answer her. And basically, this is something, I mean, yes, they are young, but this is something that could have, change. Like, the outcome would have changed if basically they just had a conversation. I feel like that is a lot. But yeah, I gave it 3 stars. I felt like it was like the writing so good. But he had a girlfriend until up like 80%, where you find out that she's the biggest a-hole on the planet. And they break up, and then these two get together. So I just felt like it was a little too quickly. And I was actually kind of like, how is she going to resolve this in a way that is, good? And I felt like I didn't like that I didn't like how everything went down actually with him getting a girlfriend. And yeah, so yeah, I kind of felt like they were using people to kind of show the other person that they didn't have feelings, and I'm just like, no. Then I finished People Watching, and this one, I don't know, a lot of people don't like this because of different things, and yeah, I can definitely see that. I really enjoyed this. I give it 5 stars. I really loved it. Now, this is extremely sad just because this girl, basically, her mother has early Alzheimer's, and then her dad has Hodgkin's lymphoma. And that actually made me quite sad, actually. And then, what else? This guy, he's kind of a, yeah, just wanderer, let's call it that. And he gets to town because his older brother has basically requested his help. And yeah, I really liked it though. So the only thing that I felt like is a little like is that this guy basically draws so many pictures of this woman that he has met, and or not only that, but to other people that he wanted to, kiss. And it's a little weird, can we just say that? But yeah, yeah, I don't know what else to say. But yeah, I feel like that is it for now. I haven't watched that much YouTube actually, and if I have watched YouTube, it's usually like in the commentary videos where can we just say that these mukbang videos, they are grinding my ears. I cannot stand people who talk with their mouth full and just no, and just like eating things, no. And sometimes, I have seen like these commentary videos on people who are like giving their kids trash to eat, not like trash, but trashy food, and I'm just like, no, please don't. And then filming themselves while eating is just it's no, awful. And that is the reason why I don't watch mukbang videos, because I cannot stand it. I have to say that is just the same with ASMR videos where people are whispering and just like these noises. I cannot stand it. It's just awful to my ears. So I don't watch normal ASMR videos. I basically watch like ambience videos. That's kind of what I am doing, because I cannot stand the whispering part. It's just, let's just say that I don't know. That's me. So yeah, I think that is it for this video. I don't have anything else to talk about, so I will see you next time for another one.